Now we have the muscles of the posterior abdominal wall. These are the psoas major, iliacus and quadratus lumborum. These are the three main muscles, but psoas minor is also present in the posterior abdominal wall. We are going to see the attachments of these three muscles. First is psoas major. If you can appreciate this diagram, you can see psoas major is this oblique muscle coming from the T12 vertebra. So it arises from the T12, L1, L2, L3, L4 and L5 vertebrae, and these are the transverse processes from where the psoas major is arising. So origin is transverse processes of the lumbar vertebrae, sides of the bodies of the T12 to L5 vertebrae and intervertebral disc. These are the intervertebral discs which are present between these vertebrae. So it's taking origin from the transverse processes, bodies and intervertebral discs. While if you can see this oblique muscle have taken the course and attached to the lesser trochanter of the femur. This is the greater trochanter and this is the lesser trochanter of the femur. So by a strong tendon it is attached to the lesser trochanter of the femur and it is innervated by L1, L2 and L3 nerves which are anterior rhambi of lumbar nerves. Then we have the iliacus muscle. If you can appreciate this diagram, so in this diagram we can see the iliacus, this is going to be this diagram. This is the iliacus. This is the iliacus. You can see this is the hip bone and this is the iliac crust of the hip bone. So it is arising from the superior 2/3 of the iliac fossa and L of the sacrum and anterior sacroiliac ligaments. So it takes origin from this anterior 2/3 of the iliac crust and sacroiliac ligaments, and then it got attached to this lesser trochanter of the femur as well. So psoas major and iliacus have the same insertion, but if we talk about the quadratus lumborum muscle, this is the quadratus lumborum muscles fibers. You can see these are the quadratus lumborum muscles fiber. And this is arising below this 12th rib and arising from the T12th vertebra, right? So it arises from the medial half of the inferior border of the 12th rib and tips of the lumbar transverse processes. These are the lumbar transverse processes and it is arising from these transverse processes of the lumbar vertebra while it is getting attachment to this inner lip of the iliac crust. This is the outer lip and in the inner one is known as inner lip of the iliac crust. So all fibers of the quadratus lumborum gets attachment to the inner lip of the iliac crust and it is supplied by the and again the anterior branches of the T12 and L1 to L4 nerves. Remember, quadratus lumborum got the origin from the T12 vertebra, coming from the inferior border of the rib and then attaching all the transverse processes of lumbar vertebra. We also studied that in the lumbar vertebra muscular attachments, the lumbar vertebra gave attachment to the muscles psoas major and quadratus lumborum. So here it is the transverse process from where it is arising and giving a final insertion. All the fibers are converging here into the inner lip of the iliac crust. That's it for the muscles of the posterior abdominal wall. Thank you so much.